Oh my goodness, happy Thursday. Guess who's back? Back again. Tati's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? If you don't know what that's from, I can't help today. Y'all, we're going to talk about it. Tati released a new video. I'm looking forward to her being back to the beauty reviews, but today she touched on not only the business partner lawsuit and the behind the scenes of it, but also on some pretty serious cyber harassment that felt eerily similar to what I had experienced in covering her lawsuit. And I haven't talked a lot about that. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that just in connection to what Tati shared in her video today. And I'll talk about why I haven't gotten into details about that, because there's some very specific reasons why I didn't. And we're going to talk about it. We got a little bit of a fresh dew yesterday. Like we're a little pink under here. We're a little purple. Look, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I've got a can of rosé bubbles because we're classy up in here. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. Did you guys want to talk about? Were you freaking out? Like, I'm kind of sweating. She like just dropped on social. I'm back. And I was like, what is happening? So we're here to talk about it. We're here to talk about it in the chat. We're here to talk about it on the channel. We're here to just, I feel like we've been on a roller coaster of these lawsuits while Tati has been silent for like a year and is now able to come back. And we'll also talk about some of my thoughts about that. It's just, what is even happening? We need to get into it. Cheers. We need to get into it. Let's just. Hey there. If we haven't met yet, I'm Emily D. Baker, the badass lawyer and everyone's favorite legal commentator. I'm the host of The Emily Show, and I break down the legal shit behind the news and pop culture stories we all want to talk about. I have been a licensed attorney for over 15 years, but this is not legal advice. I should warn you, I'm a big fan of the cursey words. This channel is where the law nerds unite to talk about facts, not fuckery. Y'all, I don't even know how to organize my thoughts. We're just going to do it together. Alyssa's like, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Perfect. It's 5 o'clock. Cheers. Let me know where you're watching from, because I see DXH being like all the way from Kuwait. It's 12 o'clock a.m. Well, cheers. Cheers to the future. And what? You guys, I'm kind of freaking out. So if you want to share the video so that you can talk about it with all of the people you love to talk about things with, share it. We're going to just have a group chat. I think we're collectively shooketh. I think we are shaken. Shooketh. We also needed some positivity. And I feel like prior to Bye Sister, Tati was the positivity that we all kind of looked towards in the beauty community. And then everything took a turn and the whole beauty community imploded. And I don't know. And then we were all like, I'm just sad, and things are heavy, and the online drama is heavy, and these lawsuits are heavy, and everything's crazy. But I feel like now we've heard Tati's side and heard a little bit more from her. I will talk about how incredible it is that she's been able to stay not essentially. She's been able to stay silent since breaking my silence. Like, she broke her silence and then went back underground and has now been able to come back. And from everything I can see on that video, and I'm sure other commentary channels will cover this more in depth because it's more their space than my space, but to really positive reviews. I mean, that video has almost 500,000 views in 2 hours. It'll probably hit 1 million before the end of the evening, I'm sure. It's trending on Twitter. People are excited that Tati's back, and people are talking about it. And I think she seemed settled and powerful and strong, much different than the Tati that we saw in Breaking My Silence, where she seemed deeply rattled and upset. And I was here for it. I was here for all of the Tati energy. I was here for the makeup look. I was here for all of it. I think she did a great job on addressing stuff without being messy. And she could have been messy. I mean, there's a lot here. I don't think that's her style. She got into some mess and then was like, whoa, turn it around. What'd she say? She canoed off of the island of drama, and then felt that she got plumped back onto it. So I was really happy to see her. You guys are coming in from all over the world. I love seeing where you're watching from. It blows me away that we have such a large international law nerd community, and I love it. Before we jump into all of it, God, there's over 2,000 of you here. Do the YouTube things. I'm going to get into my thoughts, and then I'm just going to answer questions because we want to talk. I want to talk. Y'all want to talk. We just want to talk. We just want to talk. And saying that within the chat, I know that the Tati stuff feels interlinked with another more problematic and divisive creator. This doesn't really have to do with that a lot. So we are going to keep it chill. We are not going to drag anyone. That's never what we're here for. I always appreciate you. Law nerds, you know, the ones of you who are like on an emergency ride, you know how it is. Like you know how we do things. And I'm not worried about that. I just wanted to put that out there. I'm also going to share something that I'm a part of on Saturday that I'm super excited to be a part of. And that is the Video Creator Expo. We're going to have links in the chat. This is something put together by one of our mods, Tech Valor, and others to help pivot offline to online and talk about the art of video creation. There's a lot of different presenters. I am just one of them. It is going to be premieres and live videos all tagged together so you can come and join them. The link for the Video Creator Expo is going to be in the chat down below. It's going to be a lot of fun on Saturday, Juneteenth. So if you want to come join and come watch all the different videos, come do that. And yeah, Video Creator Expo is something I'm really happy to be a part of. I'm so glad I was asked. I'm like, oh, I'm happy to help, happy to share, happy to help, happy to be here. Autumn's Art Studio said, are you going to have to update your intro to purple hair, Emily? Oh, maybe. But hello, Paw Nerds in the background. Yes, George is doing what George does during the day because nocturnal kitty, and he is just tucked in and asleep. They have a new spot. So it is just him. I'm sure Fred will figure out that I'm live because he'll hear me talking and come running. So I am going to be back for questions in just a moment. Let's all just. It's actually pretty good. I've not tried the rosé bubbles from Underwood, but pretty good. I'll let you know at the end of the stream if it's a 10/10 would recommend. All right. Fred seems to love the sound of my voice. He does. He definitely comes running when I talk. Fred, George, and Tonks with the purple hair. I will take it. It would be so easy if I could just magically do it. Well, I can. I have Garland, and Garland just magically does my hair. It takes a little more time than if I had a wand, but it's fine. We were actually talking about Harry Potter a lot yesterday while I was getting my hair done because there is a Harry Potter creator on TikTok that we were talking about. Hello from Tijuana, Mexico. Just ate barbecue ribs with Jack Daniel's lemonade. Sounds delicious. All right. Lawsuit, business partner lawsuit. We got to talk about this lawsuit. It's been a while since we've talked about the Tati business partner lawsuit. I know all of you are like, there's another one. Yeah, not the defamation one. The other one. I'm going to do a quick rundown of that lawsuit and where we're at with it. It's been a while since we've checked in with it anyway. So let's do a quick road so far on the Clark Swanson, Tati Westbrook Halo lawsuit. As you all know, back in the fall, Tati Westbrook got sued by her business partner. Remember the lawsuit? We talked about it. It's the one that started with, this is a lawsuit because of the defendant's greed. Remember that? It was coming in hot. And it got reported on everywhere. And then it was like a week later that Tati also sued KJ and Without a Crystal Ball, her channel. That lawsuit has since settled. We know that part of that settlement included information with regard to none other than the business partner, Clark Swanson, who was feeding information, it seems, to drama channels to undermine the Westbrooks, to disparage and defame the Westbrooks, to share information that was nobody's business. And Tati talks about that today. So it's very interesting to see these allegations about what Clark Swanson was up to. And we're going to see this play out in that lawsuit. But he sued the Westbrooks, saying that they essentially stole part of his percentage from Tati Beauty, the eye makeup and there was a Blendiful or something, that part of the business, not Halo, but Tati Beauty, that they manipulated him, if you will, out of his percentage, and that Halo Beauty was supposed to be the umbrella company for everything Tati Westbrook put out. And the Westbrooks are like, that was not our understanding, and actually had Clark step down. Then I broke on this channel their kind of prepared for litigation response. Then we saw a motion to change a venue and a motion to dismiss. And now that lawsuit is sitting, waiting for the motion to dismiss, which is supposed to occur in September. We have to wait till September. So it'll be like a year from the time this lawsuit is filed almost to when they get a hearing on that. Not much has happened since January. Trial fees have been paid, but we're waiting on these motions and we're waiting on response to the motion, but they're not really due yet because the hearing date is so far out. So the next date is September 21st for the hearing on the motion to dismiss in a case management conference. Whether we will see the Westbrooks file a countersuit based on new information against Clark Swanson will be interesting. I think we will see some movement in this lawsuit between now and September, just based on the information Tati shared today. And then, yes, based on the information in the settlement of the Tati Westbrook defamation lawsuit, where you now have someone confirming that Swanson was their source. And if Swanson is sharing business information that is undermining the business, or even just sharing business secrets and trade secrets, it is hugely problematic to put those things. It's problematic. It's beyond problematic. It's illegal. It's illegal, as alleged, to put that stuff out there, because you owe the business that you're a part of, in most cases, a duty and a fiduciary responsibility to deal with them, not just in good faith, but to not spill the beans on the business and to undermine it. And Tati talks about that in her video. So let's get into, now that we've done kind of a road so far, let's get into what information Tati shared with us about the business partner lawsuit. Business partner lawsuit. I watched her video twice. It's 18 minutes long. I took a few notes just because I didn't want to misstate what she states. This is my impression of what she stated, but she talked about the business partner lawsuit and how she was getting ready to come back to YouTube after she had left Scandal Island with Breaking My Silence and Bye Sister, and that there's no legal with regard to those things, no NDAs, no lawsuits, no legal action, nothing with regard to that, but there is legal with regard to this. So she was getting ready to come back to YouTube, was dealing with substantial harassment. I'll address that next, but dealing with substantial harassment, had gotten ready to come back, and then this business partner lawsuit drops. And she talked about it being embarrassing. She talked about how difficult litigation was on her marriage. I'm not going to get into that anymore. She shares about it very openly in her video, that this was a very difficult point for their marriage. I say it in not every video, but most videos. Litigation is stressful, whether it's right or wrong or malicious or warranted. Litigation is stressful. Even if it's bullshit litigation, it's stressful. Litigation is stressful. Having to deal with attorneys representing your rights is stressful. It's expensive and it's hard to go through. It does take a toll on the people that you're around. And that doesn't surprise me to hear Tati sharing that experience too. Litigation is expensive. She talked about selling her house and moving out of the condo she was in Washington, and downsizing her life so that she could fight this lawsuit to the end. And I'm like, I get it. I get it. As somebody who during this pandemic wanted to change my life as well. We sold our house in LA as a part of being able to afford a life change and a move across the country, and having to close a business because of COVID. It's tremendously expensive, and it can be difficult, and litigation can be difficult. So I get the selling the house and being like, we need to downsize the life, and put what we have behind this lawsuit. Not that I don't think that Halo Beauty isn't also part of funding this lawsuit, because as regards to Clark Swanson, he's also suing the company. But we're also in a pandemic where people are cutting down, or had been cutting down, their purchases. And we saw in the lawsuit against without a crystal ball, and KJ, allegations that the business had been damaged and impacted in some way by the statements that were made over there. So though Tati says the business was doing well, between a pandemic and these lawsuits, it's still going to be expensive. She said that Swanson had been feeding disparaging information to drama channels. I would say that information, I think, opinion. I still think a lot of it was defamatory, but it also depends exactly what Clark was saying, because a lot of the information coming out, I think, was defamatory, in my opinion. But it doesn't matter if it's trade secrets. That's not defamatory, but that does undermine your business. And I don't know. Was Clark the one saying you should look at what James did to his mom? Was that Clark? Was that not Clark? We don't know. She didn't say. Still have questions. But she said that the business litigation blindsided her, that he was filing suit for $30 million. And again, we've gone through, and I'll pull up again their prayer for relief. I understand why it feels this way. She said that at that time the company was thriving and that they needed to wait because it felt like sabotage. And corporate sabotage is a thing. Like, feeding out your product pipeline to other people can put your company at a disadvantage if competitors get that information. And so she said, you know what, I'm still coming back. Even though my business partner is suing me, I'm going to rebuild. Litigation's expensive and it's embarrassing. And we have this litigation going over there, but I'm coming back to my channel and to what I want, because I've taken a year away. And she said, you know, I'm stronger and I'm ready to be back. And she seemed that way in the video from my perspective. Let's pull up that business partner lawsuit real quick and take a look at that demand. Because again, you know how I feel about this. Like, is it a $30 million? You know, look, Tati's the litigant. She's in the lawsuit. We're just going to go over the prayer for relief again right quick. So it's been a really long time since we've pulled up this lawsuit, which was e-filed on 10/20/2020. And I believe the suit against KJ was filed, like Halloween or the day before Halloween, like right around there. So Swanson lawsuit, we're going to get down to the prayer for relief here at the bottom. Of course, I'm going to go so fast. My computer's like, what? I need to go see if the lawyers have fixed this and actually signed it, because you're not supposed to file an unsigned complaint. I need to go see if there is one. So the relief requested: punitive damages. Those are the punishment-y ones. We talk about that. The P for the punishment damages. Those are the you suck damages. Like, you suck, pay us more. Injunctive and other equitable relief: to impose a constructive trust over the profits. That means a trust to distribute profits from Tati Beauty, not just from Halo Beauty, and attorney's fees. So what Tati might be saying in that this is a $30 million lawsuit is that that's what they were discussing with counsel. Like, what's the maximum potential exposure here? Because when you're talking, and I'm trying to see if he mentions the money anywhere, and I think he does. Let me put it in. You're like, control F yourself, Emily. Control F yourself. Yes, you're right. I don't see, is 20 million in here? Let's see. No, what is happening? My Google Drive is like, no, F you. Not control F yourself, but actually, because we're professionals here, people. We're professionals. Let's see. The Westbrook made millions of dollars. Let's see what else we've got. The company exceeded 250 million. I mean, he put quite a lot of the information about the business into this lawsuit, if you remember. This was about Jeffree Star and the $500 million offer from L'Oreal. Let's see. Million subscribers, raised 100 million in the company Ipsy. That wasn't Tati. Estimated Tati Beauty revenues in excess of 16 million. And he was saying he wanted half of that. But that might have been her behind the scenes, like, what's our maximum potential exposure? Because when you're in a company suit like this, you're going to sit down with your lawyers and be like, okay, worst case scenario, best case scenario, what are we fighting? Like, what are we actually fighting over? Because at some point, it's like, if we're fighting over hardly anything, can we come to the table and resolve it? the interesting thing is Tati talking about, hey, I now have like this concrete information. And we know that that came from the settlement of the defamation lawsuit. And that's where that concrete information is coming from, that the business partner is giving this information to other channels because KJ sat down with them and was like, this was the information that I was given, which is going to help Tati in her fight with the business partner. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens with this and if they file counterclaims or cross claims, if the case resolves. But Tati did say in this video very clearly, I felt like she had a come at me bro moment where she was like, I am fighting for justice and I am fighting for my company, essentially. Like I'm taking this to the end. I have, circled the wagons, if you will. I've been playing Oregon Trail. It's in the Apple Arcade. It's nostalgia and I love it. If you guys follow me on Instagram, first you'll see the giveaway tomorrow. But if you follow me on Instagram, I was posting about He-Man and the Battle Cats being at Target again. They also had like all these retro toys, and it just, between Oregon Trail and like the Care Bears at Target, I was like, am I in the late 80s? Anyway, circled the wagons. Tati has circled the wagons to fight this lawsuit out. And I kind of feel like that was a direct message of, don't fuck with me. Like, don't fuck with me. I am, she knows her opponent in litigation is going to watch her video. And it felt like a very centered message of, I know that you've been spreading this information, because they're not talking, right? Only the lawyers. I know you've been spreading this information. I've got a witness to you spreading this information that we're going to now use against you in litigation. And I'm not backing down. So come at me. Like, circle the wagons financially. We're doing this till the end. Okay, we're doing this. We are doing this till the end. And that's really what I took away from that. So before I get to questions, we're going to have to talk about what she said about cyber harassment. So I'm going to swoop and then we're going to do a whole disclaimer ass warning about it. Whole disclaimer ass warning. Just kidding. Yeah. Gonna stand my ground and I won't back down. I'm not going to sing the rest of it because I can't do Tom Petty justice, but let's talk about the cyber harassment. Tati Westbrook shared in this video a year later that she had been the victim of some substantial cyber harassment. Look, we have talked a lot about cyber harassment. I imagine we're going to continue talking about cyber harassment on this channel. It is illegal. It is very hard to suss out who's behind it. It is deeply unpleasant and upsetting. And it is absolute fuckery. Cyber harassment is the epitome of fuckery. And the things Tati described are things I have also been through in the course of covering her case. And I know others who were talking about this case were receiving cyber harassment and threats too. I talked to some of those people that were going through that at the same time I was going through that. It's very interesting to me that Tati said she was going through this in spring and summer last year, before that started for me in the fall and before the business partner lawsuit and all of it. It's just so odd to me. And I'm sure, Truth Sleuth and other channels, Drama and Opinions, will, if they do videos on it and put together timelines, they may or they may not. But it's just interesting because they covered some of the harassment that was going on during the coverage of the Tati Westbrook defamation lawsuit. So just by way of a warning, we're going to talk about cyber harassment. I think I made that clear. I'm not going to get into nitty-gritty details. And the reason I didn't get into nitty-gritty details when I was doing it, or when it was going on to me, when I was talking about it earlier, when I was doing it earlier by talking about it earlier, the reason I didn't get into nitty-gritty details when I was doing that coverage is because from my experience as a DA, I was hesitant to give too many details about exactly what was going on, because in investigations, you want the people who are being investigated not to know all of what you know, and you want to make sure that if they are interviewed, that the information they're sharing potentially is not information that's publicly available. So you want to be able to confirm things from the information behind the scenes, the information that is not known publicly. So for me, I never wanted to share exactly what was happening behind the scenes. B, it's not really helpful, I don't think, other than to let you guys know what was happening and how I was dealing with it, part of how I processed it, and that it was being handled and investigated behind the scenes. But Tati shared a lot more details, and I was like, oh, interesting. That happened. So that happened. And I was like, you know what? It's just, we'll share some of the things I experienced too. Because now it's out there, and why not? Emily Artful also shared so much of what she went through, completely unrelated to this case, but I think there are some now really good videos that can start to have a conversation about how difficult dealing with cyber harassment is, how unsettling it can be, and the way people act. Like, it's out there. So you're not going to get, copycats per se, but she talked about receiving death threats, emails, being told that she was being monitored through technology in her house, which other YouTubers have talked about. It does happen. It's one of the most unsettling things if somebody's like, I can see you in your home through your devices, and that they can be hacked. Other YouTubers have shared it. I'm going to blank on the name. I will look it up when we get to Q&A, but there's another YouTuber that shared that kind of all of their digital devices at their house had been taken over by people who were cyber stalking them and harassing them. Their cars would turn on. It just, they would get video of their own cameras inside their homes. And I can't think of anything more unsettling than somebody who's harassing you, sending you video from inside your house. It's like these horrible movies where like the call's coming from inside the house. It's fucking horrible. So that she was being blackmailed, that accounts were being made on adult websites, the Hub. That happened to me as well. I'm going to talk about that for a minute. And she was talking about feeling violated, and then the blackmailing and harassing, and that she was losing sleep and felt like the world was coming to an end. And I can understand that. When I was a district attorney, the threats I received made more sense to me. I know that might sound weird, but I was like, I get it. I get it. I'm prosecuting whatever this case is. People don't love that. I completely understand that. It felt like it made sense. It was something I was, it's something you kind of expect as a course of your job that might happen. It's like if you work in customer service, people are going to be unhappy with the things that you are telling them. And you're kind of like, oh, I expect that not everybody's going to be thrilled with this. And I get it. And you could kind of see it coming, but it wasn't cyber harassment. I generally knew where it was coming from, what case it was related to, and I could generally understand why. I'm like, no, I mean, this is not the way to handle things, but I get why you're angry, and I get why the anger is being directed at me. I understand. But with the cyber harassment with regard to YouTube shit, I found it much more confusing. I was like, but we're talking about lawsuits. Like, we start every chat with, don't disparage people in the chat. That's not what we do as law nerds. We talk about facts. We talk about lawsuits. We talk about what people are alleged to have done. We talk about behavior. We don't rip on people. I mean, occasionally I have ripped on Rachel Hollis. I mean, yeah, that's happened. But those are not live chats, because those are private videos. Those are not private videos, but those are videos where ranting needed to happen. But we don't like rip on people. We rip sometimes on behavior, things said, and lawsuits. And so it's a little more confusing to me. But the death threats, the very graphic death threats via email, threats against my children via email, emails with all different kinds of email addresses, like stuff that was purporting to be KJ. I never thought that it was coming from her. I didn't think she was like emailing me those emails were getting traced to different IP addresses anyway, but emails from her own attorney, not from him, from his email address and others, but also lots of accounts started under my name on the hub. You know what hub I'm talking about. Don't pretend you don't know what hub I'm talking about. The P hub. By the way, just as a side note, the hub has fantastic customer service. If this stuff is going on and it is not you, reach out to their customer service. They are fantastic at blocking and dealing with and providing info. They were fantastic. They were just fantastic. But accounts started on the hub with things purporting to be me, videos titled with my information, very similar to what Tati was sharing. And I was like, that's so funny. But that does seem to be one of the things, particularly when women are being harassed, one of the things that harassers will go to is creating those types of accounts on the hub. So that was very odd to me. And it was when I heard her say that in the video, I was like, oh, interesting. And when she was talking about the way some of those accounts were titled, I was like, yeah, that was my experience too. Yep. My experience too. Cause you would get an email because your email was being used to make these accounts. It was just very, very strange, but, great customer service and was very helpful in blocking things connected to my name, connected to my email addresses and things like that. So, that it was very, very interesting to hear her detailing kind of what was going on for her and being like, oh, this is a very similar pattern. I am just saying that these are not uncommon patterns for people who cyber harass. Not that it's one and the same, though. The cyber harassment did not start with me until after I talked about the Clark Swanson documents, which was interesting. Sometimes when things are too coincidental, you're like, are these things related? I don't know. I don't know if these things were related. I don't know. And maybe in the investigation we'll find out. Maybe we won't. I hope we all do. I hope we all find out. But am I like waiting to move on until we find out? No, it's going on behind the scenes. It will still be going on behind the scenes. I hope at one point we all find out where that's stemming from. So that's my thoughts on the cyber harassment. I probably won't address it much unless there's actually something that changes or updates and I can let you guys know this is what's happening or this is what has happened. But it's one of those things that has been interesting. It definitely makes you feel some kind of a way. And that the thing that you have to fight against for anyone who's dealing with it is the purpose most of the time is to scare you, to silence you, to steal your peace and to steal your voice. And it's hard to fight back against that when you actually do feel scared, when you actually do feel like you don't want to continue to use your voice because it's not worth it. So that's the thing you have to fight back against. And I think in the last week and a half, we've seen 2 strong women come out on YouTube and say, I'm not doing this anymore. It's all out there. And Tati shared in this video, I think one of the things people might have been holding over her head, because she did say she was being blackmailed, was that she and James had separated for a bit. And she shared about her wedding ring and she shared about putting it in, she was donating stuff and maybe putting it accidentally into the bag to donate. And part of me was like, I wonder if that's the universe being like, okay, well, the ring has gone too by accident and happenstance. Maybe it's a new beginning and the sign of like a new beginning for everything. And I wish her well in all of that. I can imagine how stressful this is because I've been through it. So when I say, yeah, I know how stressful this is, been there. I know how stressful litigation is and it is. And I know that can be hard on relationships too, when you feel like the world's crumbling. And so I hope the best for them. Yeah. So confirmation about Swanson, and I think kind of a shot across the bow for Swanson too. It felt a little like that, right? It's like, your move, Clark. But maybe but maybe the next filings in court will be hers. I'm very curious. So we'll be keeping more of an eye on what gets filed in the business partner lawsuit. Trust you me. Isn't it a weird world? So Tati's back. That happened. Fascinating. I'm fascinated. I'm glad she's back. I look forward to seeing beauty reviews. I've been talking for like 35 minutes. Y'all, let's get to questions. We're just doing one topic today. Wow. Wow with everything. I have questions. I think that's what we're calling I have questions now, is I have questions. So I have questions. So let's talk about it. We're going to talk about this. I have questions. You have questions. We all have questions. Let's have questions. Questions! Put them with a question. There's over 4,000 of you in the chat, over 4,500 of you in the chat. So I can see them better if they say questions at the beginning. It makes it easier for me. Other things I thought were interesting, non-legal related. She talked about the fact that your videos are going to be evaluated. And it was interesting hearing her talk about, like, you've got drama channels that are going to talk about it. And you've got not just drama channels that are going to talk about it. I'm also looking at the chat while I'm talking. Drama channels that are going to talk about it. And you've also got like body language channels that are going to talk about it. I'm like, is Tati watching Observe? Maybe. But it's true. And it reminded me of Year of Yes, which Shonda Rhimes' book that I read literally at least once a year, if not more. And she talks about being nervous to give a keynote, a graduation speech at her alma mater. And part of it is she's like, there's like an NPR whole like station or segment dedicated to talking about these talks. So it's not just a talk. It's a talk that's going to be evaluated and scrutinized and discussed. And so when you sit down to make a video that you know is going to be evaluated and scrutinized and discussed, it's another level of pressure. And I was actually really happy she addressed it, because she talked about this is all the stuff that you have to think about when making a video like this. And she talked about how she tried to put it aside and just sit down and look into the camera and talk directly to her audience. So we'll see what you guys think about it. I'm very, very curious to see what you think about her video. And I'm sure you guys are talking about it in the chat. So I'm going to get it into the chat and we'll do it. I don't know who came up with Corn Pub, but Corn Pub is some funny shit right there. And I appreciate it. I wish it was Grubhub, Matt, as usual. Someone's welcome to make me a Grubhub account and fund it and send me food. I don't think Grubhub even comes to where I live, because out in the sticks, which is good. So I'm going to be Jen Gerard, good to see you. Yes, rhymes with corn. So I'm going to keep looking for questions. You guys, it's just so, what a crazy, it's summer. It's summer. Shit always pops off in the summer. Interesting that her ring was one of the topics in her first video back, and the tarot readings. So yeah, she definitely talked about not wanting to be the subject of any tarot readings. And she had to talk about the ring. It wasn't on her finger. I mean, she says it's because it's gone. So it's not going to be on her finger, and she didn't replace it. Thank you. Cyberstalking harassment is hard to do much about in the US. Cyberstalkers do it because they can. Only one US law pertains to it. It is very tough. I think more states are going to have to address it. I hope it's something that, I mean, getting politicians to do anything is challenging, but I hope it's something that can be addressed, because it is not, and it should not be just a part of online life. It's like, oh, you're just online. That means you're going to get like death threats and people are going to say horrible things that they're going to do to your children via email. Like that shouldn't just be a part of life. Also, who the fuck has the time and energy? Like just why? I don't understand the energy put into hate, but questions. Sorry, y'all. I scrolled back up in the chat and then it's hard for me to scroll back down. And I'm also still like, what is happening? Ario Scorpion, what shocked you the most in Tati's video? That she said Clark Swanson. I was like, dang. Oh, and the harassment stuff. I don't think we had any idea that was going on for her behind the scenes. I sure didn't. And I mean, I don't think anyone did. She said she hadn't talked to anybody in the beauty community, but that she actually named Swanson and addressed it. I was surprised. I was like, instead of just saying, because she could have said, that there was the drama that happened. I'm moving past it. She actually seems to have taken a year and taken a breath and healed herself, which maybe when people say they're taking time away, James Charles, maybe take the time away. Tati went radio silent across platforms. I don't know what she was doing during that time. Maybe one day she'll share that there was like therapy and hikes in the mountains. I don't know. But hopefully she'll share what was going on maybe at some point, because I think other influencers could use the guidance on how you actually truly step away and figure it the fuck out. I think some influencers probably aren't in a financial position to do so. Some are. So when people step away, Tati stepped away, and then came back with, I think, authenticity. And this is where I've been. This is what happened. Let's just talk about it. And then let's get back to beauty. And hopefully the next video will be back to beauty. So yeah, absolutely. So that's what I was most shocked about. She did, I think I talked about that. Carolina, she talked about it. Watch her video. I mean, if you guys are curious, watch her video for sure. Melissa said, when people are going through a lot and very emotional and not thinking straight, it's totally possible to lose something valuable like a wedding ring. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's hard to look. Their lawsuits are horribly stressful. Harassing threats are horribly stressful. And then your marriage struggling is horribly stressful. And that's, I mean, anyone who's been married for long enough has gone through parts of their marriage where they're like, this is the hard part. Like, this part's hard. Like, I don't like being here at all. But she talked about them being separated and living separately, which is a lot. So yeah, I can totally see it happening. But then again, I get DMs from my team, messages from my team, and they're like, this, and that. Remember? I'm like, where is that again? Because that's just me on the regular. You should chat with her in a live. I don't know if Tati does lives. She's still in a litigation that I'm covering. And it would be really hard to not talk about that. So another time, perhaps, if she ever wants to do that. I don't know. Another time when litigation is over. Shelly saves the day. Good to see you. I'm glad she's back too. I didn't know this, Shayla, that her losing her wedding ring, that the center diamond was a family heirloom. That is very sad. So that's really sad. Because you wouldn't want to misplace or accidentally donate or get rid of a family heirloom. That is sad. Yeah, I've lost diamonds before. It is not a good feeling. It's not a good, and not like Kim Kardashian, like my earring fell out. Not that kind of loss, but I have lost jewelry before, and it feels badly. Karen, based on the language in her video, do you think it was reviewed by her attorney? I'm sure that Saltz reviews everything that's going out. I'm sure that he does. Because there's ongoing litigation, and we know that Saltz is like coming at litigation from all angles. We saw that was his litigation strategy on Twitter. It was like, we're going to get all the information that we can get. We're going to put things out there and ask. I think Saltz probably watched everything that was going on with KJ. I don't think it was just oh yeah, we'll talk on the phone and I'll take your side for it. I think he is a very involved attorney. And so I imagine that they talk regularly, and that this was run by him, and that other business moves will be run by him, because they are still in litigation with Swanson. Though he is not the lead attorney on that, I get the sense that he is the attorney that works most closely with the Westbrooks and is kind of quarterbacking what else is going on. So that's my guess. Ashley asked, wasn't Swanson a personal friend of James? Yeah, like lifelong old friend. Like old friend. And we saw that in the text messages that got shared in litigation documents, that they were like old friends, like way back. So it's, look, not only is it hurtful when somebody turns out to not be who you think they are, but when that can literally end your business, and when that is also going into things that are personal against you. Like, can you imagine a lifelong friend going behind your back to talk shit about you to people who have platforms, to get those people on those platforms to talk shit about you? to do it personally in a way that can impact your business and your life and your marriage. Like the level of betrayal, from a business level of betrayal to a personal level of betrayal, would take a lot of time to parse out, I would imagine. And that would be a tremendously hurtful betrayal. So not only do you have to like protect your business and protect your emotions, but it's also at the core of it a very deep betrayal. And I'm sure that was something hard to parse, and that she's probably been parsing through, because I wonder when KJ was like, talking about the business partner, and I'm sure all those videos were seen by them back when they were happening. I didn't see them till the lawsuits came to light. And then people were like, this video where it's like, I'm hearing from a source who's in one of these lawsuits that things aren't going well with Tati's business. To hear all of that and just be like, well, who could this be that's sharing this? And then when the lawsuit gets filed and it's e-filed, but then it's reported on prior to it even being filed officially with the courts and being available on their website, you have to be like, oh, so the only parties that would have the lawsuit are us, and we didn't give it to anybody, and the person who sued us, which is Clark Swanson, and he clearly gave it to somebody. So that would have been clear in October that was happening. And then to have that confirmed later is such a huge betrayal. Question: how often do you think cyberstalkers actually carry out on their threats of physical harm? African lady, I don't have good statistics on that. It's not something I'm going to speculate on, because I don't want anyone either having fear based on what I say or false security based on what I say. I don't know if there are statistics on that are good. So yeah. Questions: I want that shirt. Oh, the legit shirt. I have not made these as merch. This was when I launched the Get Legit Launch It podcast that has since become the Emily Show. It was one of my shirts that I would wear to conferences. But I will take that under advisement and under consideration. Bex, and how do you think her legal team felt about having her return to YouTube? Cynical lawyer Emily is like, the lawyers were like, get that coin. Get that coin. It's one of those things with the housewife lawyers too. Like, how do you think, well, Erica Girardi's lawyers have bounced, but we're going to talk about that tomorrow. How do you think lawyers felt? So, lawyers still have to get paid. So for lawyers to get paid, people have to work. So I think it's at some point you have to get back to your life, right? This business partner litigation can take years, and they're trying to move it to Nevada, and then it would start again. Well, essentially it would start in a new court. They're going to be a year before they even hear the motion to dismiss in LA. So you can't just pause your life for 3 years and pause your business for 3 years. And at some point you have to get back to work. You have to get back to business. And I'm curious as to, I don't know, the timing with the settlement of the other suit. I wonder if that just cleared the way to have enough answers to be like, now we have definitive proof that this was what's going on. And so we feel that we can move forward, and we feel that we have proof to move forward. And we know how we're moving forward in that other lawsuit, and this lawsuit settled. So now's the time. I don't know. I think that the lawyers are probably like, get that bag. Business must go on. Halo must be sold. I almost did a spit take because I didn't read this until I took a sip. Do you think all the mentions of crystal balls in the KJ lawsuit put Tati off part of spirituality? I don't know. Possibly. She definitely said she didn't want, and I think it would be hard to see tarot readings and be like, I don't want these. I don't want to know what's coming. But the tarot, I watched a lot of the tarot readings regarding this case. You guys know I enjoy tarot on the internet. I make no bones about that. But Bia Lucille's readings kept coming up with the business partner, and the business partner being intertwined in both lawsuits. So there was definitely stuff there. But if people don't want it, I get it. I get it. I missed a couple super chats, so I'm going to go back and get those. Thank you, Mod Squad, for letting me know. And you guys, big love to the Mod Squad for riding on a non-traditional stream day. They were like, we're in, let's talk about it. So, undercovering hypocrisy. Do you think it would be wise for Swanson to drop the lawsuit, beg for forgiveness, and run away with his tail between his legs? I don't know Swanson's personality. That would take someone admitting that they were wrong. And I don't know if that's going to be coming. Do I think it might be smart? It depends what the settlement could be reached, because that would then require the Westbrooks to not continue to go after him. And they might not be willing to do that. They might be like, we settled this one. And we got the information that you were doing this. Fuck you, it's done. So it really depends what's going on behind the scenes. Rachel, hello, Rachel from XOXO UK. Will you invite Tati and Salty to come and have a chat? Well, they can't chat about any of this stuff because they're still in ongoing litigation. But down the road, the channel is welcome. I am happy to stream and have a chat. Oh my God, it's Dana said, she seems to have found religion. She used phrases like pray and pray over it several times. I don't know how I feel about religion in my makeup. You know what? Creators are full and well-rounded individuals, and they have lives outside of their creations. Tati has not been, I don't think, shy about sharing that. She talked about it in Breaking My Silence that she wanted to take Jeffree Star to church. She wanted to take him to church with her. She wanted to help him be a better person. I do think Tati has a spiritual and religious side, and I think that if she wants prayers for this, she is allowed to ask for that from her audience that loves her. So I'm totally fine with that. Because again, creators have full and well-rounded lives. I got that one. All right. I'm going to try to not let the chat in StreamYard. It will jump if I get too far. So I'm trying. Question: is it safe for Tati to speak about Swanson, KJ case in brief? I mean, she talked about it today and he's already suing her. So what more is I'm sure she's like, I'm already being sued. You all know I'm being sued. It's been covered by international media. What else is good at, like, nothing she said is going to be defamatory. She just said, this is what we know now. It's already been, everything she said's already been out publicly on the internet. So what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? And the chat jumped. If I missed your questions, I am sorry. I'm going to try to make sure I hit the super chats. Thank you for the super chats, y'all. I appreciate it. Somebody said Shane Dawson. Well, look, Jeffree put out a video. I watched Peter Mon's video about it. Shane's been on Instagram. Again, I've been following the other channels. I don't follow Shane on Instagram. And then Tati returned. It's like the horsemen of Dramageddon are back. Question: in your opinion, what improvements are needed regarding compliance obligations for creator cybersecurity? Oh my. Living Sweetly, that is a very deep question that needs to be an entire week of congressional hearings, because platforms right now aren't really responsible for it, though they are doing better. What I saw happening on Instagram is and I hope Twitter will do this too, if you block someone, it will block any future account that they create, which I thought was a very helpful feature. The thing is, people will then just pay for bot farms that will cycle through IP addresses and stuff. So there are ways around it. But I think being able to report it, Twitter shuts stuff down pretty fast, but then you have to get subpoenas to get IP addresses for what's being created. But that's proper too, because what you don't want is cyber stalkers being able to get IP addresses and shit. So I think improved conversation will help. And I think that right now, social media and big tech are at odds with the government, and we need them to be able to work together in this facet. And that's not happening right now. So increased conversation is what's needed. All right, I'm going to get to the super chats that I can see, and then we'll get back to some more questions. Mercedes said, peeped your comment on Tati's video. I absolutely commented on Tati's video, for sure. And I wish she had talked about James Charles a little after the two videos. I felt confused about what she knew. I mean, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. Thank you, Shelly Saves the Day. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I feel like in this video, she was like, we're done. We're not talking. Like, Bye Sister is behind us. I have removed myself from the beauty community and we're done, which is interesting because that's similar to what I think Jeffree Star said. Like, I've removed myself from this community. I don't know. Is there a beauty community right now? I feel like Nikki Tutorials is like, I'm just here holding it down, guys. We're just going to keep doing glam. I don't know. And Raw Beauty Christie's like, I had a baby. All of you left. I don't know what's going on. I feel like it's very, very interesting. It's interesting. The beauty community is different. I mean, Jaclyn Hill is starting to come back and post more regularly. YouTube is going through, like, the YouTubers I've watched for a long time are going through this growth. And it's so interesting with creators because creators have to be able to grow. People change, people make mistakes, people learn, people do better, people fuck up. But I think it's hard when you're used to watching a creator. And for me, like for Jaclyn Hill, you're used to watching a creator and you're like, I like this from this creator. And then when they grow and change and their content changes, you're like, wait a second. It was really comforting for me to like this. It's like if you changed the way Kraft macaroni and cheese or Coca-Cola tasted, all of us would be like, what in the fuck? I'm used to this thing being this thing. But creators are more dynamic than that, and they grow and change. And I'm here for it. I'm here for the new content. I'm here to see what comes back. I think all of us really that enjoyed Tati's content, enjoyed that it was consistent content. What is happening outside my window? Hi, Griffin. I'm live. What are you doing? Are you having a water fight? When I'm done streaming? I'm like, what is happening out there? Oh, that child. Water gun fight. Because he's so bummed he can't go to the pool while his shoulder heals. Jessica said, question for cyber stalking and phone text harassment. Do threats need to be made for a restraining order? Not necessarily. Besides a restraining order, are there other legal means for someone to protect themselves? Ooh, so it depends on the state. A lot of states actually have harassing phone calls sections that are beyond just a criminal threat, which is what they're called in California. But a lot of states do have harassing phone call provisions. Document everything. Talk to somebody locally or file a police report, even if they're like, we don't know what we can do. It's like, this is everything I have. Because you can also try to go to the phone company to get it to stop and block stuff. You can work with your provider as one of the things to get that stuff to stop. But there's kind of two schools of thought. Some detectives will be like, okay, now we're monitoring it. Let's see if we can track it back and see what's happening. If it's actionable, if it's not actionable, they might actually say, document everything and you've got to let it continue because we need this much of it to make it actionable. So it just depends. You should be, and I say should be because this doesn't happen and I wish it did, but it doesn't always happen. You should be able to call your local law enforcement and say, this is what's going on. I need someone to take a report and I'm not taking no for an answer. And they'll be like, well, we might not be able to do anything. Fine. I need you to take a report and take my documentation and tell me what else I can do. Good officers will help give information about what you can do next. Good detectives will do that. Some departments will be like, I don't know what the fuck you want us to do. We've got murderers and stuff. So it's just like, your mileage may vary on that, but it's okay to ask for help in that way and to have a report made. So at least you have a paper trail of what's been going on. It's okay to talk to your phone company about that too. So yeah, let's see. Oh, thank you guys for the compliments on the hair. Look, it got freshened up yesterday. We went much more purple, a little bit of pink. I feel like I could play a Disney villain. It feels very Descendants to me. I like it. I'm here for it. Natalie's World said, question. She said he sued her for $30 million. Do you think he missed out on that much money, or how did he arrive at that figure? I think that might have been what they decided maybe their potential maximum exposure was, because in the lawsuit, the prayer for relief is like, we want punitive damages. And it's like, okay, how much could punitive damages be? How much could attorney's fees be? How much could all of these things be? How much could half of Tati Beauty be? How much could a larger part? Hey, just go for it, George. How much could a larger part of Halo be? And then kind of totaling those things up. So do I think he missed out on that much money? Probably not. I think that's the total of everything he's asking for. Punitive damages, attorney's fees, half of Halo instead of a third, half of Tati Beauty instead of zero. The stalkers are on fire this month. I feel like this is... the calling out of the stalkers is on fire this month. I feel like this is all old stuff that's just coming to light. And I'm glad creators are talking about it. Creators should talk about it. Not to scare anybody away, but to say, A, you're not alone if you're going through this. And B, it's embarrassing and it's stressful. Thank you for the catnip tip, Ashley Vincent. Good to see you. LOL, your Nikki T was... I love Nikki tutorials. She has just been like... I've got this, guys. We're holding the beauty community down. And she went through a robbery and blackmail and crazy shit too. It's just, water fight sounds fun. It does, as long as nobody gets my hair wet. I haven't washed it for the first time. And what I don't need is dye on my face. So we will go do that too. Also, so many YouTubers have moved to Twitch, even if they don't play video games. I think people have. I don't know why people are moving to Twitch, but yes, I've seen a lot of people move to Twitch. I love this platform. I love it. I don't know if I'll co-stream on Twitch. I feel like that's a whole thing. A whole thing. New Coke was an epic fail, Amanda. Nobody wanted New Coke. People want what they're familiar with. And that's the reason things like McDonald's do well. It's like, no, I know if I go to McDonald's, even if I'm in Fiji, which I did on my honeymoon, that it's going to taste the way that it tastes everywhere else. I want that comfort. And people treat their creators like comfort too. This is what I get. The thing is, I'm 40. Other than changing my hair and shit, it's like the content is we talk about lawsuits and stuff related to lawsuits and stuff where I can help us understand and evaluate, which is why talking about the cyber harassment and what Tati has released today makes sense to me because it's helping us understand and evaluate what's going on. But the content is the content. This is the content. So not at all law related, but did you watch Eurovision? I didn't. I need to. I didn't. And my oldest is at camp this week, and we've been like forbade from watching Loki this week until he gets home, which I'm chomping at the bit. Thank you, Living Sweetly, for I questioned the monitor saturation. No, it's the hair saturation, and it's fair. And I'm starting to get like it's that time of the day when I'm starting to question whether my husband accidentally turned off the air conditioning. Huna Lim said, I think with all of these drama and legality, it gives us insight onto what we could do in our everyday life. I mean, I think, I don't know. I hope so. I hope it gives some insight and understanding for sure. I hope it does. Thoughts on Pokemon Unite? I don't know enough about Pokemon Unite because I have been reading Jen Shaw documents. And so I haven't gotten to dive into it yet, and I'm sad. But I'll let you know once I know. Question, how is G's shoulder healing? It's well. I started PT on Monday after, it's hard. It's hard. The rotator cuff is a hard one to heal. You have my empathy. It's a rough one. Keep going. Do all the shit they tell you to do. Otherwise, it can freeze. Not medical advice. Personal experience. Griffin had a break on his shoulder and it's healing really well. So it is. Elizabeth just got home from a 4-day hospital stay. I'm sorry. As your video is starting, welcome home. Going to watch Tati's next. I'm happy she's got her voice back. It really felt like a strong, confident, all the chips are on the table, come for me, bitches, Tati. And she would never say that. That's not her style, but it felt that way. And I live for it. George is getting himself comfortable. I love that we see George. So I missed I'm sorry, y'all. I know I missed a couple. Will you cover the Shake Shack lawsuits? Christy, I need to read them. I don't know. But anything's possible. We've got, in the next week, we have a Britney hearing. Somebody filed to terminate the Britney conservatorship. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Like, what? We have Girardi stuff popping off. It's a lot. And then the Jen Shaw documents are a lot of pages of documents. So tomorrow night is full, but I have a list. I have a list of lawsuits that I need to get to and just haven't gotten to all of them. Yet. So Shake Shack can go on the list. I'm waiting to see what the court rules in the Ice Cube Robin Hood lawsuit. Very interesting. When will we get that story about the lawyer who got taken out in cuffs? Probably not tonight. It's already 5:00. We are going to talk about that. I'll tell that story tomorrow. I'll tell it on Friday Night Live. We'll do a little DA story time too, and I'll talk about it because I mentioned it casually and I shouldn't have mentioned it casually because I'm like, yeah, I probably should share that story about working in juvenile court. Side question. Do you see a lawsuit between Ethan and Trisha in the future? It seems like there's a whole lot of unofficial contractual stuff that should have gone through legal. I hope not. They are going to be family. Everything that's played out on social media is unfortunate. I hope that it doesn't have to end in litigation. I hope that it resolves amicably. I really, really do. But yes, there should have been contracts. Expectations should have been clear. It's like getting business married when you have a partnership. Expectations have to be made clear, crystal clear, more than crystal clear. It has to be very, very clear what you're bringing to the table, what you expect, how money's getting divided, who's doing what, who's responsible for what. And I think it would have avoided a lot of what went down online, which is I talked about Tuesday. I think it's all time stamped. I think it was Tuesday. Question. I think it would be fun for you to do a collab video with a tarot reader on a case. I think so too. The law says this. The spirits say this. I think so too. Aphrodite and I have talked about that more than once, and we just haven't had time. I'm going to have to rope him in to doing stuff on the Girardi case because I don't think he's done that yet. I'm going to look. Real says, your hair looks awesome. Any plans for 200K subs? I mean, we're at 130. I'm not even thinking that far ahead. We'll talk at 150. When we get to 150, we'll make plans for the hair. We'll do oil slick or Galaxy or something. We'll do something. I do dump conditioner on it. Thank you so much. Kimberly, you're an expert. Your hair looks stunning in that picture. I definitely dump conditioner on it. Diva views who goes to McDonald's. This basic bitch, Diva. This basic bitch goes to McDonald's in Fiji. We were on our honeymoon. I have pictures of it. I'll find it. We were on our honeymoon in Fiji. I loved Fiji. Also a huge vacation spot for Australians, not a huge vacation spot for Americans, which made it very fun I fucking loved Fiji. The plane ride's a little long, but I loved Fiji. So anyway, we were so curious. I had never been to a McDonald's out of the country when we went on our honeymoon. I am under-traveled as an adult human, I feel, because my life kind of went like this. High school, college, water polo. Like my brother traveled and did like a surf trip around the world and all kinds of amazing stuff. And I was like, water polo, injured, study for LSAT, meet husband. This is in my TED Talk. You can go watch it. But like, get married, go to law school, get a job, have children. So I did not travel a ton, but yes, we went to McDonald's in Fiji. It was delicious. It was really fun. Twitch tips pay a ton more. Eminem, a good thought. I mean, I love the YouTube platform, you make good points. Amazon owns Twitch. You make good points. I'm going to answer a few more questions and then I need to go have a water gun fight. Twitch is now not just for video games. You can stream art, music, etc. I mean, maybe we'll co-stream on Twitch. I know Tech Valor co-streams on Twitch, but I can't moderate two chats at once. And part of what I love about being here is that our community is here. Like the Law Nerds are here. Part of why I went live today is so we could all talk about this because I was like, oh my God, this happened. And then I was getting DMs and I saw you guys in the text crew and I was getting texts and I was like, I can't respond to all these DMs and texts. Everybody wants to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it. Kaylo said, I lost my wedding rings twice when we moved, found them once in the dryer lint trap and again in a drawer I didn't know I had. That's wild. My mom lost her wedding rings. My parents are getting ready to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary. My mom lost her wedding rings because she went to go get her nails done and put them in her pocket, but it was the same pocket with her keys. And when she pulled her keys out, she thinks that her rings came out because she hadn't put them back on. And when she realized it later, went back and couldn't find them in the parking lot and was so bummed. It's a hard thing. I still have my OG wedding rings. We're going to be celebrating, 19 years of marriage. Not oh God in a bad way. He doesn't watch my streams. It's fine. Sorry, Dr. Badass, but like it's going to be 19 years of marriage this year. And it's wild to me. It's just wild to me. Okay, I'm going to catch up. I'm way behind on the chat and make sure that we acknowledge our gracious and lovely super chats. Thank you. Love the pink highlights. Next time, get a little peekaboo, blue and teal, and we will have a peacock vibe. I mean, we definitely could get to like a galaxy peacock vibe with a little blue and teal. I think we can do that. So next time. My husband already called me a peacock. He was like, the hair is, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. It's definitely not quiet. And when I wear a hat, even when it's pulled back, I mean, it is not quiet hair. It is. I love it. It is. What are your thoughts on KJ's tweets about being proud of Tati for coming back? She's caused a lot of damage on her own before Swanson. I mean, I generally don't comment on KJ and what she's up to, even though she comments on me. I mean, I'm proud of Tati too. They've settled their case. They're going to have to work together behind the scenes to go after Swanson. And I think that's a good thing for Tati, because if her business partner was doing the damage, then that's what it is. So, Leah Smith, may I know what little rainbow organized things are on the shelf? They look so cute. Wait, this way. Those are pens, because I have a pen problem. So those are pens, and there's more. When I'm on Instagram, you guys will see the more stuff up above. The books are in rainbow order too. So yes, Friday, somebody said, oh yes, thank you, Nightbot. Friday night live stream is going to be lit. Friday night's going to be busy, and we're going to answer a few more questions and then bounce on out of here and thank the mods for their time today. They threw out the Ice Cube case. What? Hold on. Y'all trying to just, hold on. I haven't looked today. We're looking now. I'm so curious. We're looking now. Because I was going to pull it up before tomorrow. Let me find it. Ice Cube with the Robin Hood. Oh, docket report. Most recent date first. We're pulling it up. Order granting motion to dismiss and dying motion to strike as moot. Interesting. All right. Well, we'll be. When did that happen? That happened like 2 days ago. Way to be on it, Emily. Crazy. Well, we'll talk about it tomorrow for sure. My husband is like, do you have a death wish messing with Ice-T? I mean, we'll see. We are going to talk about it for sure tomorrow. See, I didn't know. Friday Night Live is tomorrow. I'm going to do a few more questions and then we're going to bounce. It's been over an hour. We can't do all of the long today because, we're riding extra, and I'm going to make sure I got to all. Thank you for the super chat, Trucker Dave. I'm going to make sure I got to all the super chats before I bounce. Living Sweetly. If you love Fiji, consider Tahiti. It is more spectacular, especially Bora Bora. We considered it for our honeymoon. There were some things particularly we wanted to do in Fiji, which is why we went to Fiji. Thank you so much for the compliments on the color, but always a consideration. All right. Let me get the last super chats that I missed. I am sorry that I missed them. Lori Smith. Well, hi, you wonderful law nerds. I'm glad Tati is back. Lori, we are glad too. I am glad too. Celine said hello from Tijuana, Mexico. We got that one. Autumn's Art Studio said, are you going to have to update your intro to purple hair? We did get that one. Let's see. Jennifer Edwards. Love the hair, and I'm so excited to hear your thoughts. Thank you. I'm excited to share my thoughts and talk to y'all and see what you think. And then Alyssa said it's 5:00 in New York. Thank you. All right. I think we got everything. I'm going to look one more time. You guys don't forget to like and subscribe. Did I accidentally? I hope I didn't say Ice-T. Ice Cube. Did Ice-T have a lawsuit with Robin Hood too? I'm going to go look. If you're messing with all the ices, did Vanilla Ice have a suit too? I'm going to look. I know Cube had a suit. We're going to look. We're going to see. I mean, everybody sued Robin Hood at this point. Y'all, Tati's back. We had thoughts. It's just, wow. The business partner lawsuit is going to fire up. It's going to fire up, and it's going to be very interesting to see what comes next from it. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens next in that lawsuit, especially after the shot across the bow today. I think it was a warning shot. It was a, I'm not backing down, and I know what you did. That's how I took it. Victoria B said, I can't wait to see Peter Mon's video tonight. I can't either. All right, you guys. Huge thank you to the mods. Give them the love for mounting up to ride for an extra ride today because they did it. I was like, y'all, can we just, we were in our chat. I was like, y'all, who's around? Can we ride? Let's ride. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's sneak in alive and chat about this because I didn't want to wait till tomorrow for Friday Night Live. It's interesting stuff. And this lawsuit, we have covered so much. We were going to talk about it. I'm fascinated. All right. Do the YouTube things. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate you for doing that. It supports my content, supports the channel, and it lets the YouTube algorithm gods know that this is content you enjoy. So they will A, let you know when it happens, and B, let others know that they might enjoy it too. A lot of you have mentioned lately that you've been unsubscribed. Make sure you're still subscribed if you think that you are. And if you're worried about that, go ahead and join the text community in the text crew. If you're in North America, textemily.com. From your mobile, it'll get you right into there. Just be like, hey, Emily. And that'll get you into the text crew so you'll never miss a thing. I am going to be posting a giveaway tomorrow. I got behind. Shocked Pikachu. Emily got behind. I'm going to be posting the giveaway tomorrow morning on Instagram. You can enter over there at the Emily D. Baker. We're going to be giving away some fun stuff because Saturday, June 19th, is the day I uploaded my very first YouTube video, my very first day at Harvard, my very first YouTube video in 2015. So as of Saturday, it will have been 6 years that I've been on YouTube. And a lot of you are like, 6 years? Yeah, there's some old purse videos and stuff. You can still find a few of the older videos on this channel, but it was more of a variety and lifestyle channel before I left the district attorney's office in 2017. So, yep. Celebrating 6 years on YouTube. Wild stuff. Thank you. And we will post the timestamps down below. I saw a great question. Lisa Pink, I did a quick review of this at the beginning. We have some case briefs on the channel, and we'll timestamp this one to where it is when I talked a little bit about the business partner lawsuit. And then there's case briefs on the Tati defamation lawsuit on the channel. So you are welcome to dive into all of that. 14 years on YouTube. That's amazing. Congratulations. I mean, my channel, I guess when I started watching YouTube was in 2006, but I didn't actually upload a video till, thank you, Dr. Riley, for the Titanic reference. I didn't actually upload a video until 2015. So I can't wait to follow the Duggar trial. I mean, it's going to be something. We're going to be talking about the legal side of that stuff. I don't know about the rest of it. I'm not talking about the rest of it, but the legal stuff we will be here for. Cheers. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Don't forget to check out and do the YouTube things. How was the wine? The wine was good. Would recommend if you are classy like me and can't drink an entire bottle of bubbles. So you don't want to open it because it goes flat and you just like some bubbles. I enjoy it. I need to go. I have some new booze that I want to try for tomorrow that are waiting for me at my P.O. box that I need to go pick up tomorrow. So we're going to do that. Unless my husband wants to go get Steak and Shake for dinner and I can convince him to drive and then we could go pick it up now. So that would be fun. Yes. Juneteenth is a federal holiday and yes, all the things. So cheers. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a law nerd. I will see you tomorrow night for Friday Night Live, unless you're not watching this on Friday night. No, I'm not D'Angelo Wallace. I'm not going to tell you to watch this twice. I am live Tuesdays and Fridays. If I'm not live, there's a lot of other content. I will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Thank you for being a law nerd. Connect with me everywhere. I'm at the Emily D. Baker. If you guys want to join the text, just textemily.com. If you want to join the channel, lawnerdsunite.com. Happy to have you. Support what we do here on the YouTube